Okay, we're carrying on with setting up our building file. We're going to look a little bit at the project browser organization. So let's open up where we left off, which was 801. Okay, we'll save as 802. Do another save as, and we're at complete. Okay, project browser organization. So what does this mean, project browser organization? Well, this right here is the project browser. And you can see here you've got floor plans, ceiling plans, 3D views, elevations. These are the views that you've come to know and love. So this can be sorted. If you go to the View tab in your ribbon, and then you go to User Interface, and then go to Browser Organization, this is where you can sort all of this out. Now, there's a bunch of ones that are sort of default. Discipline would be by structure, mechanical, electrical, and so on. This one will sort them if they're not on a sheet versus on a sheet. You also have sort by phase. So I could click on phase, say OK, and now notice what's happened here. We've got existing and we've got phase one views. So depending on what a view is set to, for instance, there's some question marks here. These particular views don't have a phase, so they become their own little area here. That's what the question marks are. But if we were to take something existing, say a 3D view, maybe I were to duplicate it. Okay, so there's copy of 3D. What if I went down to its phase and instead of existing, I put phase one, and then I applied that? It's actually going to take itself out of existing and then drop itself under the phase one heading. So that can be helpful when you get a lot of phases in a project. You can also do a little bit of customization on the browser organization side of things. So follow me on this one. If I go to Manage, and then I create what's called a project parameter, I'll click on that. And I'm just going to click on Add. Now, this is all new for you. Fairly simple idea here, though, is it's just a custom parameter that we attach to a view. So I could call this one something like view use. And then the type of parameter, we might call it text. And then we'll group it under identity data, let's say. Now, we're going to apply this to the category views. Then we're going to say OK, OK, and OK. So now every single view that you look at, if you look in its properties, it's going to have something under identity data called view use. That does nothing on its own. You have to pair it up with something else. So if I go to View, User Interface, Browser Organization, we're going to make a new one of these. So we're going to say New. Let's call this one number one. Okay. So we are going to group it by view use. So this is one that we just made. It's a parameter we just made. Then by, then by. So you can keep sorting it if you want. We're just going to go by view use. Now it hasn't yet been applied. We're going to click on number one and say OK. Now notice everything here, it's just all in one giant question mark. Nothing has been specified yet. But if I were to go in here and say under elevations, under view use, I could say those are sheet views. Okay, and those floor plans, maybe those particular ones for view use, they're just a working view. They're not intended to be put onto a sheet. Yeah, you see what's happening? It's putting them into folders essentially. So there's a lot you can do with that. As you can imagine, you can create lots of different types of parameters. Usually people will just create it for this example that I showed you. Okay, so that's a little bit of browser organization. Okay, so let's just close hidden windows. Just save that. Okay, and we're right back to the recent files screen.